management and customer service and so on. So to the extent that carriers are looking to outsource what they would consider non-strategic functions, we provide a whole gamut of services that they can benefit from.
Okay. Now, whilst you're doing all this, it seems you're not neglecting your core business, which is the construction and provision of capacity. You're building a new intra-Asian cable, which is going to add 320 gigabits of lit capacity to the East Asian market. What's the reasoning behind that when there seems to be so much capacity already?
Well, we've always taken a contrarian view that ownership of submarine cables is critical in order to have the right cost structure and the end-to-end visibility and manageability that our enterprise customers are looking for. We also believe that submarine cables, if you have the right business model of wholesale and enterprise, are also a good investment to make from a business perspective. The TGN Intra-Asia cable will be ready for service at the beginning of February. It's in its final phases of testing, and we'll be carrying live customer traffic as of February on that new route. The cable itself runs between Singapore and Japan with the drop-off in Hong Kong, and also branches into the fast-growing markets of Philippines and Vietnam. Our view while building the cable was twofold. One is we have 100% Tata Communications owned cables between Singapore and India. We also have a cable across the Pacific, which is the TGN Pacific cable. But we had a gap in between those two where we have several cable options that we have IRUs on other systems, but we don't have a cable that we own. And in order to provide that end-to-end control that we are offering as a value proposition, we needed to build this cable. As far as the cable itself is concerned, it has two unique features. One is it's the only cable that will have an express route or a single fiber connectivity, or direct fiber connectivity, I should say, between Singapore and Japan, and therefore the latency is reduced compared to other systems on that route. And the other aspect of it is most of the other cables intra-Asia right now run between a very narrow ocean stretch off the coast of Taiwan, which is historically proven to be earthquake prone. It is not, you can't predict where earthquakes will strike, but our cable has been deliberately designed to be as far away from it as physically possible, and therefore we think that for enterprises and for carriers, the TGN Intra-Asia cable offers a good diverse path.
Okay. Now, it's not the only cable that you're interested in building. There's also the new East Africa cable. I guess the motivator from Tata's point of view is your investment in Neotel, the mobile phone operator in South Africa. But more generally, what's changed in Africa that now supports the economics for a cable, whereas obviously before satellite was the preferred option?
Well, if you look at the economic growth across Africa, there are pockets of growth. South Africa clearly is the largest market in Africa. Countries such as Nigeria and Kenya and Tanzania and so on are also beginning to show signs of good growth. Africa is a long-term play. Our investment in Neotel, which is the second operator in South Africa, challenging the incumbent there, we've just increased it from 26% to 56%, which clearly reflects the importance we place on South Africa, which will then serve as the beachhead for the rest of our expansion in the African continent. In order to be competitive and offer services to customers in the local markets, it's important for us to build local infrastructure, but equally it's also important for us to have international connectivity. And Africa has been historically underserved, as you mentioned, as far as cable capacity is concerned. The new cables, which are the Easy cable, which is still under sort of planning and early stages of construction, and then the more near-term ready for service cable will be the COM cable, in which we are anchor customer, will be available in the second half of this year. And then there's some discussion about cables going up the west coast of Africa as well, in which we are actively involved and one of the lead players. We believe that till Africa has that level of diversity and that level of capacity, the efforts to just purely build local infrastructure will not be fully realized in terms of success and in terms of benefit to the end customer. The reason why we believe Africa is changing is we believe that broadband penetration is gradually increasing using wireless broadband. We believe that mobile will have a very big part to play with in providing both voice as well as data connectivity to all these countries in Africa. But it is going to be a quilt work of growth. It's not going to be simultaneous and parallel growth in all the markets. Some of the markets that I mentioned are more likely to grow and show demand needs sooner than others. Right now, any satellite capacity that we can throw at Africa gets consumed immediately. So we sense that the real demand is there, and we believe the cable systems will take it to the next level of growth.
Okay, well, on that positive note, we'll wrap up. Thank you very much for joining us on PTC TV.
Thank you very much.